Well, sounds good to me. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. I am Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady. This is Coffee with Lavender. How the heck are you? Recently, we started seeing some hints that YouTube has been wanting to change their terms of service, and their terms of service are going to come out in December, as they say. And there have been some very interesting and very significant changes that they are making that prove to be possibly possibly problematic with respect to small channels um, trying to establish themselves, trying to remain viable. And this, as I say, could be devastating for some people out there. More, those who have small channels, those who have larger channels, as far as that goes. People who base their income on YouTube, for example. And with that, we have with us someone who actually does base her income on YouTube and has every right to be a little bit concerned. So, why don't I bring on the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Bionic Dance, Kate Farr? Hi!
Hello. Someday I hope to be several rather than just the one. But anyway, I haven't split yet. The process of yeah. Anyway, I am concerned about some of this. I'm the one that most recently reached me was I think they call it COPPA.
Oh,
It
yes,
might be
yes.
COPA, I don't know, where you have to flag your videos as being for or not for children. Like, you're now legally obligated to
Yes.
say whether the content you have made is for kids. And if you screw it up, there's like fines, and you're probably going to get kicked off of YouTube and all that stuff.
Oh,
And but there's no specific criteria. There's a general guideline, and people have to use judgment. And not everyone necessarily sees what you were doing. Not everyone necessarily sees what you were going for. They don't understand your video. So it may well be that someone could decide, no, this is clearly not for kids, while someone else on their staff may decide, nah, it's no big deal. And it's just a crapshoot which you get.
okay. Okay, you guys on the side there, you say it's out of sync? Or, okay, what I may end up doing then is, yeah, let me try to restart. Oh, okay, Tria, restart. Yeah, I don't know if we're out of sync or not, but we'll give it a try. The last time this happened, it fell back into sync. We're okay. But
Hmm.
let's get into, yeah, I noticed that myself with the COPPA thing. When I saw the notice and went to do the setting of the settings, whatever you want to call that. And it
Mhm.
was just, yeah, is it made for kids? Is it not made for kids? What do they mean? Um,
Well,
what
there are
topics are we
guidelines.
allowed? You know?
There are guidelines, and I wish I had that pulled up at the moment. But it was like just the nature of the work. Are there kids in it? Is it the kind of thing that kids would seek out? That sort of thing. And it none of it really said much that you could really like do a checkbox. You couldn't go, yes, I did this, yes, I did that, no, I didn't do this. That kind of, they don't give you that kind of specific checklist. It's okay. Here it is. It says, what is considered as kid content anyway? And YouTube stated that when deciding whether your video content is aimed at kids or not, consider the following: what is the subject matter of your video? Whether children are in your intended audience for the video, whether the video includes child actors or models, whether the video includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, including animated characters or cartoon figures, whether the language of the video is intended for children to understand, whether the video includes activities that appeal to children, and whether the video includes songs, stories, or poems that appeal to children. That's all it says.
Yeah, and the kind of thing I'm thinking of is okay, the kind of thing I might have sought out when I was a kid, um, which would have been content I, as a kid, wanted to see, but parental units would not have wanted me to see. Things like, okay, kids, trans people are a real thing. Kids, uh, non-heterosexual people are a real thing, and are these the kinds of things that we're going to have to block out? And to what extent are we going to have to do that? How careful are we going to have to be? Um,
Well, I mean, one real problem is that when YouTube decides, oh, your video is inappropriate, and you decide to appeal their decision, you don't have a box of explanation. You don't get to type in, this is what I intended. They just send it to a committee and they decide, and that's it.
a committee of
There's no,
bots.
well, no, well, I don't know. I mean, because it's the bot that decides that your video is inappropriate in the first place. I've heard that it's humans who do the manual review, but I've also heard that they've outsourced it to other countries, not to the US. And so you've got people who A, don't necessarily understand the language,
Yep.
B, who have beliefs and ideals that may not match ours.
Right.
You know, I
Outsourced
mean,
to
like, here I
Indonesia.
am, yeah, I mean, here I am making atheist content, and there might be someone in some third world nation who's reviewing my video and goes, "Oh, you don't believe in God? Even if it's not my God, you're arguing against God." No. And
Yeah. There's the other one.
yeah, I mean, so there's no way to explain what you did. It's like, yeah, this bit right here could be offensive, but here's how I intended it. Like, yeah, I'm arguing against Nazis, but I had to mention them to do it. But because the bot caught the word Nazi, it's flipping out saying you're inappropriate, you white supremacist, you.
And I can remember Skylar Fiction getting caught up in that when he was arguing against what was that kid? Matt Powell,
Mm.
and by talking about how what Matt Powell was saying was bad, he got hit for being Matt Powell. In that
Mm.
supporting what he supported. Um,
Yeah.
and this is, yeah, it could be the death knell to a lot of programming. um,
Mm.
what also could be the death knell to a lot of programming is something I noticed in the terms of service. I pointed it out on Twitter. Was it last week or was it a few days ago? Where if they decide that you are not commercially viable, they can kill your channel. Now
Mm-hmm.
then, whoa, what makes a channel non-commercially viable? Could it be? Could they decide that, okay, we are demonetizing this particular person for using this particular word or talking about this particular subject, video after video after video after video, no advertisers are getting involved? Could that be not commercially viable? And I'm not talking about anybody in particular. Am I, Kate?
Clearly not. Well, and I mean, my channel may not be the biggest out there. It's not even the biggest atheist channel out there, obviously, and it
It
should
should
be.
be.
But
Yeah.
but but the thing is that I mean, 24,800 subscribers is nothing to sneeze at,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely.
And but there's people out there with millions of subscribers, hundreds of thousands even. And it's like where's that line? What makes something not commercially viable? I guess my other question is there really like a difference in profit where it's like, well, the amount of computing power and storage space we need for your videos costs more than what we make from the advertising on your videos, where it's like, or is that not the standard by which commercial viability is measured? They don't tell you anything. It's kind of like with the algorithm where it decides to demonetize a video. They don't tell you it was this word or it was this time code in your video. You're shooting blind,
Yeah.
and it's a minefield that could easily, like, the floor could come out from under you just because you don't know that you've crossed a line. You didn't even know there was a line.
Yes. This what I'm wondering. Okay, and here's my the Clarion conspiracy theory mind going over here. Are they just trying to make it easier to get rid of channels they feel are in their way, and go to the corporate, what they see as big money channels, and screw the little guys? We don't need them. We want them out. Let's do it this way.
Well, it's definitely in the name of money, that's for sure. And the reason why they've instituted the, like very draconian standard for what is and isn't commercial, well, what they will and won't monetize, is being dictated by the advertisers, by the people who are giving YouTube the money to advertise on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so those advertisers were the ones putting pressure on YouTube to say, hey, you need to make this stuff sanitized. You need to make it family friendly. You need to make it no worse than PG rated. Otherwise, we don't want our ads on that content.
Yeah, and in our little community over here, if you want to call it that, the skeptic, atheist, LGBT, whatever else we have in that pot, that's not what we're about. That's the other side of the other side of the paper from what they're wanting. Um,
No, what I was hoping, and like, I've only put out one video since that COPPA thing happened, and maybe that's not enough data. But what I was really hoping is that if you flag your video as not aimed at children, then the advertisers would be a bit more lenient because they'd know that, like it's not family content. I mean, but it's not intended to be.
mm-hmm.
So it's not like it has this restriction on it. Like we'll leave out all the kid ads now and only show the stuff that adults will care about. I was hoping that would be what it is, but it's probably more a matter of we don't want ourselves associated with an atheist channel because we don't believe that or something. I don't know. I mean, that's the problem, is we
We
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, and anymore, it seems that they are so capricious, or whatever the word is, that they could change their mind at any time. What's
Mm-hmm.
okay now might not be good at 6 p.m.
It
It's
feels
like,
very big brothery. It makes people nervous.
mm-hmm.
You know, I'm always worried that at some point that they'll go, yeah, we're done with you, and there's my income.
That's what I worry about. I worry about you. I worry about people like you who are basing their living, their groceries, their rent on this platform. And we have someone with us here, just joined in, the Bible Belt Atheist. Hi, sweetness. How are you?
Hey, pretty good.
Do you have a horse in this race, or what horse is that? Is it the white horse? Is it the Appaloosa?
Well, I mean, I kind of just jumped in, so I'm still trying to get all my bearings calibrated. But
Are you still waking up?
yeah,
Okay,
I
okay.
yeah, pretty much. I just got out of bed, so that's another part of trying to get my bearings calibrated. But I don't. I'm not in a whole agreement with the whole YouTube thing, wanting to do this. I can understand where they're coming from, and wanting to be like, hey, is this video made for kids or is it made for adults? I can understand where they're wanting to where they're coming from with that, but it's like, if the kids are making something that's like, let me put it this way: if there's somebody who's basically an adult, 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, and they make something that's, for adults, I don't think that there's like a young adult option. Like, so you have that intermediate.
Uh-huh.
Um,
The
but
cutoff age they list is 13
the
for
cutoff,
what
oh, it's
makes a
13.
child. It's yeah, it says it right in the article.
Yeah, I hadn't read the article, so.
Okay. I
Um,
thought I had seen something about a 15 to 18 group that was a little quick, but maybe I'm thinking of something else.
so they have 13 as the cutoff. 13 and younger is considered as kids, and then 13 up. Okay. Because I was thinking it was like 18 and older.
Oh, that was you
Um,
I was talking to. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. And that's why I asked you on it at first, because I thought that you were still in that gray area. It seems that you've just moved out of that gray area, but still, you're close
mhm,
enough that you remember what life was like, and
mhm.
what effect could that have on not only those who are watching, but those who are producing.
Yeah,
the
they
four.
can't even watch their own videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, oh, I don't know anymore. I wish I knew where this was going and how. I was a couple of years ago. I was on a God. It's amazing that I can actually say a couple of years ago in reference to my own channel. I was on a server that Logic ran, and it was just one day when nothing was happening, and we were just talking around. And I asked him, what would happen if, let's say, since you are basing your income on this, if your audience decided they didn't like you or YouTube decided to screw you over, and his answer was, I try not to think about it. At the time I asked that question, I had no idea it was that close to happening.
Hmm.
Yeah, many much people could be in a lot of trouble with this. If I lose my channel, so what? I mean, I have to find something else to do on a Sunday. Kate, you lose your channel. Logic, you lose. He loses his channel. That's a little different.
Now there are a few alternatives that I've thought of. I mean, because most of my money does not come from YouTube ads. I make my money on Patreon.
Right, right.
Right, that's where the real dough is, which means that I'm not necessarily tied to YouTube. I could potentially switch to Daily Motion, I suppose. I don't know how many of my subscribers would come with me,
There's the
and I
problem.
don't know how many of my Patreon patrons would object if I started posting Daily Motion videos instead of YouTube. But I don't have to have YouTube. It would be nice if there were some proper competitors
Yes,
to
it
YouTube.
would. I've
You
looked at
know, like
Daily Motion, for example, and
yeah.
it is nothing like YouTube in the sense of classification, searching. That's what it's third rate compared
It
to.
used to also be full of porn.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding. Like I found Daily Motion once and I was looking at some of the videos, and the next thing I know, porn. And I'm like, wow, okay. It's like PG-13 or R-rated YouTube.
All right
I mean,
then.
it was
Well,
crazy.
weren't a couple of our people, our people, posting their stuff to Pornhub because they thought
I,
there was going to be they were going to lose YouTube. Um,
Well, I mean, that's the thing though, is I mean, YouTube is like if YouTube was Facebook, it needs its Twitter. It needs that competitor
yes,
where some people will say, no, this platform's better. And there's like that need to retain viewers by keeping the experience user friendly for both content creators and viewers. They need that because right now YouTube knows they have a stranglehold on the like user made video market,
yes.
and that needs to be broken up.
Now, okay, this is going to be just thrown out in midair. Do you know of anyone or know of anyone who knows anyone that knows what it would take to get something like that started? Can we get
No.
enough interest? And there's the thing about the interest, and this is going to be a lot of work. And, are there people interested in putting in that amount of work? Because if there are none, okay, we have to just go the way the waves go. We have to, ride with the current. Um, So this is for anyone who might be watching this, who stumbled across it just in their searches. If you are interested at all in starting something like this, give it a thought. Contact this channel for fuck's sake, and let's talk about it.
Well, I think what would have to happen at this point is either the government would have to step in with that whole "we're breaking up your monopoly" thing, or YouTube would have to screw up so big that there's a mass exodus to another platform like Dailymotion or something similar.
Yeah, and it's just like the whole politics thing, where as long as they've got their bread and circuses, they're not going to do anything drastic. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, so in the meantime, content creators, for example, are getting screwed over left and right, and the content creators, by the way, are the people who built YouTube. For the love of
Yeah,
Saint Gulick, what are they doing?
they're like nothing without us. If
Yeah,
every content creator buggered off, they'd have a hard time staying afloat.
absolutely. And I mean, even the little guys who don't have the 1,000 subscribers and are not monetized, etc., etc., etc. I am rather sure that in one of my 9-hour after shows, there are plenty of ads in there. I'm just not seeing any of it. So
Mm.
even on some dingleberry like me, they're actually making some money. Come on.
Well,
Um,
what people should do, I think, is start installing ad blockers on their browser because you can block YouTube ads.
yes, you
It's
can.
possible.
For now.
That exists. And so if everyone started doing that and their ads started to suffer as a result, and if people said, "I will make a bargain with you, YouTube, you start treating us fairly and we'll turn off our ad blockers," maybe that would work. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, because the other thing they could conceivably do is if you don't want to watch the ads, you don't want to watch anything. Um,
Mm,
there are some of the newspapers that do that. You're
mhm.
going to open up the ad blocker, or we're not going to show you anything. And that's an interesting thing in itself when you're looking for references for a story you might want to do or something like that. You need to.
There's ways around that for some of them. I'm trying to remember which one it is. It's not the New York Times, but it has New York in the title, I'm pretty sure, where you're allowed to read one or maybe it's two articles per month, and then the paywall drops,
Oh,
right?
that's
Um,
NYT.
okay,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, there's ways around that. Just go into incognito mode, and it doesn't look at your cookies to see what you have or haven't read.
Huh. I'll have to
Hmm.
remember that. Yeah, if I
Yeah.
happen to do some research, I'll turn on incognito and we'll be fine. Not necessarily going to happen with YouTube videos, but we can see. We can see. Um, oh well, yeah. Zach, you were going to say something, were you not?
No,
No. Oh, you were
Oh,
just
not
you were
not
just
within.
assenting. That's all. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what it was that I was going to say. And always remember, people, when you get old, the second thing to go is the memory, and I forget what the first is. Yes, that's my trademark right there. Um,
That's all right. I've got my own, but you said that one a lot recently.
yeah, I'll have to come up with a new one.
Well, obviously you can't remember when you've said it because first thing to or second thing to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, it's just it has something to do with YouTube programming, but that's another story
Mm.
entirely.
Well, I
Um,
mean, that's another thing is that kind of worries me is that YouTube will throw its content creators under the bus because they're like, we have enough money now that we can be the next Netflix or Hulu. We're going to start producing YouTube original content, and none of it's going to be the users anymore.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That may. I wonder if that would drive enough people to say, okay, we're going to start something. Because let's face it, user created content is extremely popular. You take that
Mm-hmm.
toy away, Are they going to sit and cry, or are they actually going to do something about it? And the thing that you do
Well,
about it is,
that's when you'd see people migrating to something like Daily Motion,
yeah,
because it's
okay.
all that's out there. I mean, I swear there's another similar service, but Daily Motion's the only one I can remember now, which means that the other one is either something that's really outside my sphere but is popular, or it's just that crappy that no one gives a shit about it. I guess I don't know.
Very likely the latter. I was looking at a couple
Yeah.
of options. Daily Motion was one of them. I was truly dissatisfied with it, but if that's all there would
Mm.
ever be, then I would have to. And there was another one I looked at that was even worse than Daily Motion, and it was so bad I can't even remember what it was called. Uh, there was a search thing that I looked up that was like the 10 best alternatives to YouTube, and none of them were very good.
Mm. Well, I mean, gosh, there was something I was going to say, and now I don't remember what it
You're
was.
doing it too. All right, I don't feel alone
No,
now.
no, no, you just distracted me. It's all. Um, it's one of those things where like you want to say something, but someone else is still talking, and you're not rude enough to interrupt.
That happens to me all the time. Yes, that's mainly
Yeah.
where that happens. Um,
Um. But oh, I remember.
oh
There's
yay!
that YouTube union thing that people are starting. Like they are actually trying to unionize YouTube.
Oh my!
It's started by some folks in like it's either Germany or Scandinavia or something. They've got the accent and the names that goes, yeah, these guys are Germanic. But they seem really dedicated. They seem to know what they're doing, and they are organizing campaigns to basically tell YouTube, hey, that's enough of that crap. We need you to start treating us like you need us because you do. Stop giving us the short end. And so I'm hoping that takes off in some fashion. I've joined it, but it's not like you get constant newsletters. It's not like there's constant calls to action, but they are taking steps.
Do you know offhand where to get hold of these people in case anybody in the audience or any rewatchers
Mm,
are interested?
I know they have a Facebook group, that's for sure. And I'm trying right now to find the name of like the channel. Oh, hey, I just found something here. It's sort of recent. It's from August. It says YouTube says it won't negotiate with the YouTubers union.
I just turned that up. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I looked up YouTube Union, and that was the first thing that came up. Um, okay, let's see what we've got here.
Says right here, YouTube says that it won't do business with the YouTubers Union, a year-old organization that aims to support creators on the platform and bring them together to push for creator-friendly changes. We explained to the union in great detail what YouTube is doing in terms of transparency and support for YouTubers, a YouTube spokesman said in an emailed statement, but we have also made clear that we are not going to negotiate with their demands.
That, yeah, them's fighting words, kids.
Yeah.
Um,
Although, well, wait a minute. Let's see. And I haven't read all of this paragraph, but let's see. Even so, YouTube has taken steps to appease the union after it joined with IG Metall, a German metal workers union that is the largest industrial union in Europe earlier this month. According to a Facebook post from dude whose name I can't pronounce, Jorg Sprave. I don't know. The founder of the YouTubers Union, Google Germany offered to meet with the union to discuss some fundamental questions about the future of work, which the union accepted. So I don't know.
okay,
I don't
maybe
know.
there's a crack in the armor. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, maybe. Yeah, let's see. YouTube has had little incentive to respond to those demands so long as most major creators aren't behind them and ready to take action. But the company's willingness to take a meeting shows that, at the very least, the YouTubers Union now has the company's attention.
Okay, that kind of works there. Now I'm interested in what the side chat may have to say about some of this. Would it be worth it to you to just turn YouTube off for some period of time in order to get something better, or is it one of these things where you're I hate to put it this way, but you've got to have your YouTube, otherwise you can't start your day.
Well, I was recently kicked off of Facebook for a month for doing absolutely not a damn thing wrong. All the notice I got was, you use the system in a way that it considers unusual. Bye-bye for a month. It didn't tell me what I did. It didn't tell me anything. It was just, you did something unusual. It wasn't even you posted something offensive, right?
Yeah.
Now, I have to admit, I've been feeling the loss a bit because it's the only way I have to communicate with certain people, because I don't have them on Twitter, right? I don't have them on my phone necessarily. So I have no way to contact some of my friends, which sucks because in a day or two, some of my Seattle peeps are coming to San Diego. They want to organize a meetup, and I can't PM them. I cannot send them a private message to say yes. Right?
Yeah. Okay
So,
then.
so I like, if someone said, "Hey, let's turn off YouTube for a day, a week, a month, whatever, and show them who's boss," it would be difficult. It would be really difficult.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so what Great Dane just said, I think that's a better thing, is don't necessarily get people to stop watching YouTube, but if we all decide for a day we're not posting any content, or decide for a week or a month we're not posting new videos, that might send a message to YouTube more than people not watching might.
Okay, because what I was thinking, and I could be wrong. I very often am. That people not watching would be a reduction of ad revenue, whereas the YouTube may or may not see ad revenue from their back catalog. But you do have a point when you're saying, yeah, just don't put the stuff up. The only thing I can think of offhand, they could be real dicks about this and say, okay, you're not posting anymore. Okay, we don't need your channel. But of course, they could do that anyway.
Well, I mean, if it's a mass exodus enough, they might go, okay, yes, we do need you.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it would have to be big. It would have to be really well organized, because I don't know how many millions of content creators out there, and of those I don't know how many are monetized, but if you could not organize more than 50% of them, I think it wouldn't help.
Right, and I don't know that I can see that happening. In other words, organizing more than 50% of them, because let's face it, YouTube is going to bend over backwards to kiss the arse of PewDiePie or The Ridiculous or any other number of totally useless channels I could name. Useless in the sense that I'm not learning anything from them. And I know that's selfish, okay? But
Well, I don't even know why some of them are popular. I tried watching PewDiePie for like one video because I was looking up ways to boost a channel's popularity, like what draws in viewers. And that's the reason why the format of my thumbnails has changed recently. Because apparently yellow on blue catches the eye really well.
well,
That kind of thing.
there is a big contrast,
And
yeah.
yeah, and so I was looking for that, and I ran across one of his videos on how to make decent thumbnails, and I watched it, and the guy's a dick. Why is he popular?
I
I
know,
don't
I
understand.
know.
He's such a jerk. I mean, there are better, smaller channels out there that are similar, but they're more fun to watch because I find the person on camera to be more engaging, to draw me in more, to make me want to watch them. PewDiePie, I wanted to hit in the face. I mean, I don't get it. Why is he popular? I don't.
I don't get it, but of course, when I say I don't get it, you can easily say, well, okay, boomer, and many do.
Yeah.
But when someone who's not in that disparaged class says they're not getting it and they're not like that means something. So thank you for saying that.
I don't know. I mean, there was a very, very, very brief period when I watched a bit of Onision, and I was like, I can see why this guy is popular, even though I don't like him very much. I get why people like him. I don't get why people like PewDiePie.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I could say basically the same thing about the ridiculous. I don't know if you folks in the audience have seen this or not, Kate. I don't know if you have.
Mm-mm.
There's three guys in Australia who throw shit off a tower and hit other shit with the shit they throw. And that's what their channel is,
Well,
basically. Uh,
okay, I don't
Oh
understand
yeah, I've seen
unboxing
them.
channels. Why do people watch other people open packages?
I know, I
Like
know.
what is with unboxing? I made a few and they were really popular, and people kept sending me stuff just to watch me open it. And I was like, after a while, I started to feel kind of weird about it and moved it to my secondary channel that I barely use. But you know, I don't get why people is it just watching the look of joy on someone else's face? Is it just wanting to see the product because you might want to buy it? Why do people watch unboxing videos? I don't get it.
And I know, and is it vicarious surprise that hey, look at that! I didn't expect that. And it's like you're not gonna
I mean,
do
I'll tell
anything
you
with
what, if
it.
anyone out there wants to send me more shit and wants to see me unboxing stuff, I guess I'll start up again. My Amazon wish list is in my video descriptions, but honestly, I freely admit that I would be doing it for the most shallow of shallow reasons to get the views, right? I freely admit that's why I would be doing it. And I also freely admit, like I just said, I'd feel weird about it. But at this point, if that's the only way to maintain my career as a YouTuber, maybe I'll do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's and that's a very sad thing. This sort of change in the TOS and the emphasis change and everything else is forcing people like you who have good content to offer, valuable content. You'll learn something from this, forcing you to do meaningless shit just to keep eating.
Now, I will admit, I understand why kitten videos and guys getting hit in the nards are popular. I'm not saying it's not kind of shallow, but I totally get it, and I'll watch a good kitty video. Yeah, no problem. And there's that one video out there of all the trucks that don't realize how low that bridge is and don't know
Oh
what the clearance
no.
is and just smashing the crap out of their roofs. That was pretty funny. And there's a prank video I've been thinking about doing for a while. You see, Starbucks has a phone app, and they let you put any name you want into the app. Right now, there's a character limit. I think it's something like 17 characters, so there's a few things you can't do. But I wanted to put in, say, for example, the name "Crying Out Loud." So when they announce it, they're like, "Yes, vanilla latte for crying out loud." You know, I do think I want to put in like say death or glory, tall cappuccino for death or glory, that kind of thing. Just come up with it and film them all and put them on YouTube. And I think that's the kind of video that could get a lot of views because it's the right kind of stupid.
Okay, yeah, and oh my word, that the whole thing just disappoints the crap out of me. Well, of course, I've been an elitist. I've been a pedant all my life. When I consider that, for example, Sci Strike's channel was, and to some extent still is, just populated by a certain group, and that's it. I mean, the people who come to socialize for movie night. Uh, I'm thinking, God, he's got shit out there that's it should be more widespread because you're learning things. It's good stuff, but it's the movie night. Sorry, guys, when I say this, it's the movie night that's popular, partially because it's stupid. you know, we all like to tear stupid apart. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I look at some of the videos that are the most popular on my channel. I'd have to look now. I don't think it's the most popular, but I did one explaining why stormtroopers don't have the bad aim everyone thinks they do, and that has like tens of thousands of views. And like the videos that I'm much more proud of, the atheist content, not so much.
Well, the most watched video on my channel is a 17-minute clip from one of my after shows. You may remember this clip, Kate, because it was when Darth Dawkins was trying to invade the channel. You were there, Neil was there, Frustrated Atheist was there. That is actually the most watched video. It's over 1,000 views, which on my channel is really something. And yeah, the basic reason I think a lot of people are watching it's damn funny. Uh, you know, Darth Dawkins doing his thing, and you just telling him to go pound salt.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, I kept telling him, I will debate you, just not now and here.
Mm-hmm,
If we want to
mm-hmm.
set up something specifically to debate you, I'll do it. And he kept going, you cowards. I'm like, we just said we'll do it, but you don't want to do it on our terms. Like, and it's not even our terms, it's our time. He
Yes,
wanted to be on then and only then, and if we didn't let him, we were cowards.
and I have to wonder how a video like that would be classified under the new YouTube rules. I mean, would that be something for kids? Would that be something not for kids? Would that be something? Well, would that be something non-monetizable? All this other stuff. Um,
Mm.
Here.
I'm looking. Sorry, go on.
No, that's fine. Fly
I
away.
thought you were done. I'm sorry. But I'm looking, and the only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise video is my second most popular video. It's got 34,580 views, but my most popular is from ages ago, from 2010.
Oh
So
boy.
almost 10 years old. This video is called Objective/Subjective Once More with Feeling. Right, the
Ah,
whole idea, it was about objective morality. That one has 46,353 views.
nice. Very, very
Yeah.
nice. I am
So
heartened.
it's really I don't know, it's annoying to me that some of the most popular videos I've got are not the ones of which I'm the most proud.
Okay. Yeah, Casey Atheist Randy says political is what Facebook mentioned. What's this about? Am I not getting something that usually happens with me?
Yeah, I feel like I missed something. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, no, there's one up above. I hear lots of people being censored by Facebook, but put out an ad filled with lies and they won't remove it. Yeah, okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah, sure.
yeah. Um, what was the system now? Because I don't. It might have been. It wasn't Facebook. There was someone who basically they said, this company, they're like, we are not letting political ads of any sort on anymore. But of course, the definition of what a political ad is kind of fuzzy. But they were like, yeah, there's too much falsity out there. There's too much vitriol. We're just going to be as apolitical a platform as possible. I forget what it was now.
I think I can barely remember seeing something like that, and I as well forget who did that. Was it Twitter, of all damn things?
Possible, possible. I don't know. Um, let's see. On Twitter, I don't know. Well, let's see. That's pretty recent. So Twitter unveils uh, final details for political ad bans. So I guess it is indeed Twitter.
Okay,
Yeah, and there's
okay.
the picture of the guy I'm seeing with his hand up swearing is definitely the guy I saw in the clip talking about it. But yeah, so it says limits on targeting cause-based ads. So yeah.
Okay then, and yeah, there's something that I mean, it's a fantasy of mine which will probably never become reality. But were I to interview candidates for various offices or something like that, what would YouTube think about that? And because you're as polarized as the environment is now, could they take issue with that? Yet here is something you
Uh,
can learn something from.
Well, I mean, I freely admit that a lot of what I want out of YouTube is to be entertained. I mean, learning something is great, but it's just, oh, I'm sick and tired of this show I've been watching on Netflix. I need to be entertained in some other fashion. And YouTube is one of the other ways to get that. So, as much as learning something is a great goal, making something from which people can learn is a great goal. At the same time, I don't think that it's fair to cast aspersions on YouTube for focusing more on the entertainment content.
Well, I guess it pays the bills. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
and I am opinionated, and
What Tria just said. I'm not trying to be paranoid here, but I keep getting the feeling I'm not wanted on the interwebs. I know that feeling. Because honestly, and I really don't know how to bring this up without pissing people off. But in many ways, I feel very left out of the YouTube atheist community. There's this charity that's happening right now where people are trying to raise like
oh, that
$8,000 or
one,
something.
yes,
And I'm like, what the hell, smoke filled, dark back room were you people in when you were organizing this that I was never asked to take part? It's kind of like all these really small YouTube atheist content creators were on panels at Faithless Forum, and I was never asked. Yeah, I've told you that story about how Aaron Ra
yes,
asked why I wasn't on stage, and
yes,
I told him I wasn't asked, and he acted really offended by that they should have asked me.
yeah. He
I'm like,
personally was telling me about that.
yeah. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? I've been on YouTube longer than the vast majority of you, and yet somehow I'm just left the hell out of everything. And it's hard not to be bitter about it after a while. I've been keeping it under wraps for years and it's been festering. And at this point, I'm starting to get kind of pissed. It's not
Yeah,
just it's not just like I don't know. It's not just mildly vexing. At this point, it's starting to get insulting.
yeah. I mean,
So
when the people in your own community, if you want to put it that way, are saying, "Who's that? I don't see her," uh, you begin to wonder what the hell is the use of it all, and
yeah.
I
So I mean, so I get it, Tria, about not feeling wanted on the interwebs. I totally empathize.
yeah, that might be a very very good direction to turn in if well let me get around to some other stuff because yeah if we may turn if we turn to an after show I need to put I need to put a thumbnail together for it so give me a minute or two here but that's another topic entirely. I don't know if there are any more who feel this way who are getting treated this way. I definitely notice it with you that yeah, who the hell is she? And I
Well, and one thing that it doesn't help is when people are getting organized like this and they're referencing other people, and they're saying, "Hey, go watch this person's channel, go watch that person's channel." It helps their views, it helps their subscribers,
yes, it does.
and I 100% have to fend for myself now. And it's not working very well. I don't get a lot of subscribers, not even as many as I used to. Like my subscriber numbers are kind of stagnating and it's very frustrating.
Okay,
I
there we
mean,
go.
there are times I've seriously thought, like, if it weren't for the fact that I feel a need to defend the people that religion steamrolls, I would maybe make other content on my channel. I would shift gears and change directions. I'd love to in many ways. I just feel like I can't, A, because I'd lose my audience, but more because I do feel like I'm part of a cause that needs fighting.
And you
If it
are.
weren't if it weren't for that, I'd seriously not be an atheist content creator.
Yeah. You are absolutely needed. And
Um,
it's not just because I have a 9,300-ton crush on you. It's you are absolutely needed. Um,
Critical Cripple, how active am I on Twitter? Not very. I don't like the format. I mean, yeah, I'll post on Twitter, but I tend towards the verbose, you may have noticed, and having a character limit on what I'm able to say is like anathema to my communication style. I hate it. I really
yes,
do.
yes, I know that
So,
feeling.
yeah, I've been more active since I've had to have a month off of Facebook, but Facebook lets me type a frickin' novel if I want to. So I tend to use that.
Yeah. Um, I remember LiveJournal was good
Oh,
for bloviating, and unfortunately, it went down the trash bin when the Russians bought it.
hmm.
There was a Russian group that bought that, and it just went.
I've still got an account. I checked it a little while ago and like was not inspired to keep using it.
Yeah, same here. I still have the account. I don't remember where to go to get to it anymore. I don't remember what I called
Hmm.
myself. But the last time I checked it, uh, everything was spelled in a Cyrillic alphabet. And it was like, okay, I can't even make out what's going on here. Why do I want to use it? Um,
Instantly, I think this Zach fellow here is talking way too much and stomping all over what we have to say.
I know. Why are you doing this? This is not very courteous. That's what I'm looking for.
And judging by the almost complete absence of smile, I think the joke has not landed. But oh well.
uh, whoops.
I'm actually currently reading the updated terms and services
Oh,
for
anything worth
YouTube.
mentioning?
Uh, Not really so far. It's just the normal stuff.
Hmm.
The normal
I
stuff that you would expect from somebody like this.
I have to admit it's difficult sometimes to read terms of service because it's almost like reading one of those contracts with lots of whereupons and party of the first part type
Yes,
language.
absolutely.
You
Yeah,
know, it's like you
definitely.
have to interpreting it is hard.
Hmm.
Oh my. And I guess it has to be that way, of course, because you've got to have the lawyers need jobs. They need to put their kids through Ivy League schools where they can get gentlemen's C's and all that other stuff.
Hmm.
And but okay, yeah, it was something earlier that I forgot about something in the terms of service, and I forget exactly what it was. Darn it! I wish I could remember what the hell it was because it was earth shattering. Yeah, like hell it was.
Hmm.
Um, don't mind me right now. I'm just setting up a thumbnail because if anybody, Jack, Kate, if you don't mind sticking around, if anybody on the side wants an after show, you can definitely get one. Um, okay, there we go. That's successfully saved. And what I will do is go back here.
I'm looking at the terms of service right now, trying to find something to mention. I mean, most of what I'm concerned about these days are the demonetization algorithm and that COPPA thing that's so nebulous.
Yeah, and there was another one too that went along with the COPA, and do not remember what that was either, and that's why I'm just.
Well, one thing I'm kind of worried about, that big animation project I'm working on. I mean, it
Yes,
is
yes.
animation. Now, there is an attitude towards animation that a lot of people hold is that it's inherently for children.
Oh, please.
And well, of course it's not, but a lot of people make that assumption. That's just the paradigm, you know. But like you look at some of the anime out there and it's clearly not for kids. I mean, has anyone seen Legend of the Overfiend? I wish I hadn't, but
No, I
yeah.
have not, but
Oh
I
my
get the I
gosh, you
get
have
the
no
idea.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like anime in general, so
I used to like it more, but the fandom turned me off. I mean, when I first got into anime, because it was anime, I was in college. There was an anime club. You had to get these like fan subtitled like VHS tapes that had been copied so many times. All of that, and we watched it because we loved it. But then at a certain point, it was nothing but people wearing cat ears, shouting "kawaii" and all that stuff. And it was just like, wow, I don't want to be associated with you people. And I sort of like fell out of the scene, right? But again, with the animation I'm working on, for the most part, you could almost say that it's at least kid friendly content, if not specifically for kids. But there is one scene that is going to have basically like, well, not exactly a stripper, not exactly a pole dancer. There's these aliens that have like webbed hands. They're basically amphibious, but they look like fairly sexy women. And there's going to be one swimming around in a tank in this sort of like bar setting, where I mean, she's completely naked, but there's no nipples, there's no genitals. It's completely sanitized nudity. But at the same time, YouTube might look at it and go, this is clearly for kids, except you have this sexy chick swimming in a tank. And so it's not for kids. And therefore, I mean, it rides that line. Do I say, yes, my animation is intended for kids or not? But it
Mm-hmm.
fits a lot of the criteria they lay out for what is or is not content for kids. And so I could totally get slapped with some sort of strike or other by YouTube for putting out that content.
Yeah, and the kind of stuff that you're talking
hmm
about there, I can think of a scene in the first episode of Inuyasha, which sort of fits that bill, where one of the demons is sanitized naked, and otherwise um, the entire series is kind of like the old Warner Brothers Bugs Bunny things, where it was actually written for adults, but it had appeal for the kids as well.
Mm.
Huh.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, like kids would probably